Have you ever noticed that whenever people talk about Slavic women online, it's always the same conversation? We're easy gold diggers, the most feminine women in the world, cold, sometimes traditional wives, of course, or apparently every foreign man should marry one of us. And honestly, after living abroad, I realized people are asking the wrong question. Instead of asking why are Slavic women like this, I think the better question is why do many of us grow up thinking the way we do? Because nobody is born believing that a man should provide, that looking amazing every day is important, or that financial stability matters. Those different ideas from our childhood. They come from our families, our culture, and the environment we grew up in. And before anyone gets offended, I'm not saying every Slavic woman is the same, of course. Ukraine, Poland, Russia, Serbia, these are all different countries with different people. I'm simply talking about patterns that I've personally noticed after growing up in Eastern Europe and then living in Spain, Netherlands, Germany, USA. The first thing that really changed my perspective was financial stability. One of the biggest stereotypes is that Slavic women only care about money. But honestly, I think that people confuse two completely different things: luxury and security. When I was growing up, I don't remember women talking about finding millionaires. I remember hearing conversations like, choose someone responsible, think about your future, choose a man you can rely on, it will be your man for life. Because again, we don't believe in divorces, so it's like, a man for life. So it should be someone you can rely on who gives a world to you, someone who chooses you every day. Many of our parents and grandparents experienced uncertainty, economic crisis, country changing, USSR broke, changing jobs, rebuilding their lives. Even I personally lived through these moments because I went through war. So yeah, we have a lot of problems in our minds. So when Slavic women say financial stability matters, I don't think they're dreaming about designer bags. I think they're just trying to avoid chaos and have the feelings of security in their heads. There's a huge difference between wanting a Lamborghini and wanting peace of mind. Of course, Lamborghini is good, but it's not the main goal. Another thing I didn't realize was cultural until I moved abroad was appearance. I genuinely thought every mom said things like, "You're leaving a house like that? What people will think?" Or, "Brush your hair, you're looking so messy." Or, "Put on something nicer," which was always normal for Slavic cultures. Or my favorite, "Don't embarrass me." Like, when I was younger, I thought my mom was just being dramatic. But now I actually understand what she meant. It was never about looking perfect for men or for someone. It was about making an effort. It was about respecting yourself and representing yourself well. My mom never went to a supermarket looking like she just got out of bed. My grandma always wore perfume. Even teachers looked elegant every single day. Nobody sat me down and said, "This is how a woman should look." I seem to grow up watching women around me, and that became my standards in my head. Then I moved abroad and I realized not every culture thinks like that, and that's when I understood something really interesting, that most of our habits don't come from conscious decisions. They come from observations. Children copy what they see long before they understand why they're copying it. That's why they say that if you want your child to have a successful and good marriage and relationship and future and have a good life, you should show it as a couple together. Because the child will copy and choose a partner accordingly to their mom and dad. So if mom and dad have good relationship, they hug each other, they take care of each other. If a dad gives a hand to a mom to go out of the car, it will be their expectation, it will be their normal treatment of a man to a woman. And if you don't show them this example, I'm sorry. Another thing I started thinking about is how my Slavic parents express love. Growing up, I honestly don't remember hearing, "I'm proud of you" every day, but I've heard, "Did you eat?" Did you put on a jacket? Call me when you get there. Be careful. Sometimes it even sounded like criticism, like, you look tired, you're so skinny, you need to eat more food, you look so horrible. As a teenager, that could be really frustrating, like, just don't touch me, like, I'm okay. And they would be like, no, you need to eat, you will not stand up from the table until you eat. But that was from care. And looking back, I realized that many parents weren't trying to criticize us, and that was simply how they showed us care. And I really believe in this kind of parenting much more than in current one parenting, where it's like never shouting, never forbidding, because children need borders, they need frames, and they need to feel that you're a parent, you're the main hero. And love for us wasn't always expressed by words, it was expressed through responsibility. I think that's one reason many of us also show love through actions instead of constantly saying how we feel. Even though I personally express my feelings very well, I think, but that was my skill I learned through my life. It wasn't by default like that. The topic people argue about the most is dating. People hear that many Slavic women want a provider and immediately assume they want someone to pay for everything. I think the word provider means something different to different people. For some women it means expensive gifts, for others it means feeling emotionally and financially safe and feeling like someone takes responsibility for you, feeling like you're building a team instead of carrying everything alone. Because being with someone and feeling alone, that you're solving your problems yourself, it's so horrible, you know? And I also think many girls grew up hearing advice like, know your worth, don't chase someone who doesn't choose you, choose carefully, choose wisely. And the last thing that surprised me after moving abroad was communication. They all call us cold, mysterious, serious. I actually loved the first time someone told me that I look so cold, because I wasn't trying specially, and I actually think I'm a very warm and nice person. But then I realized people just communicate differently. In many cultures, people become friendly first and build trust later. When I grew up, it often felt like the opposite. You build trust first, and then you already become closer, more open to a person, more smiley, and more warm. Maybe that's why people misunderstand us often. Being direct isn't the same as being rude. Being careful isn't the same as being cold. It's simply a different way of connecting with people. And the biggest lesson moving abroad taught me wasn't that my culture was right or wrong. Some values I've kept, some values I've changed, but now instead of following them automatically, I actually understand where they came from. And I think that's one of the most interesting parts growing up, because you stop asking, is my culture better, what is worse, and you just ask which values genuinely feel right for me. And I genuinely love my Slavic upbringing and our values. And I really believe in looking good. I really believe in traditional relationship. Because at the end of the day, there isn't one type of Slavic woman. There are millions of completely different women with different dreams, different personalities, and different lives. Yeah, culture influences us, but it never defines us completely. Now I want to ask you a question. What's one thing you grew up believing was completely normal, but later you realized it was actually just part of your culture and it's not normal in other cultures? And of course, thank you for watching this video. Bye!